Hey everybody, Traceman Styles, hoping to wrap up the Q&A here this time. If you've seen the first two and you came back, well, God bless you, you're gluttons for punishment. But I wanted to try and get through as much of this as I could. Let's jump back in really quick, and I had a question here that was describe your writing process and what inspires you to write. So what inspires me is just playing, I mean, when I'm happy, when I'm sad. Historically, I always wrote more when I was sad. And I was talking with my wife, Lisa, and she was like, "You're happy now. You need to write about happy stuff and that kind of stuff." And it's not that all my stuff is depressing, that kind of stuff there. It's just easier for stuff to come out, and certainly lyrically as well. When I'm happy, I'm just enjoying it, man, and that kind of thing there. And when I'm sad, I'm kind of sitting and trying to find a way to kind of get through it, kind of thing there. Certainly my wife Lisa is a huge, and there's several songs on the new album that are about her and us that I'm really looking forward to getting out. But my writing process is really just, the more I play, the more creative I am, without a doubt. So when I'm playing every day, it's just coming out. And when I come up with something, I'll stumble across something, maybe kind of wrote it a little bit. I'll get my phone out and I'll get my little phone recorder and I'll record the riff or the progression or whatever it is. And then lyrically, I'm always just kind of penning something. Something is always, I'm always writing something. I'll hear something that triggers something and blah, blah, blah. So I've always got lyrics. And then it's really kind of just putting together, going back later, it's like I've got this little piece that I recorded, this piece, this piece, this piece. This works with this, and I'll kind of put stuff together and then find some lyrics that kind of meets meets up and with those words. And that's kind of how I did the first album, and it worked out really well. I think it's going to even better on the new one. Fingers crossed on that one. Do you write your own lyrics? Well, and if so, who are your lyrical influences? Obviously, yeah, I do. I write everything. I write all my own. I write all the music. I write all the lyrics. When I say it's a solo project, it's a solo project. There's really no one else on the creative part of that with me. So, but lyrically, I've always been a word person. That's always kind of jumped out at me. We're going back when I was a little kid, and going into the early '70s when I would hear, back then when Elton John was really big, and I would listen to the words to the Elton John songs, "Rocket Man," and "Someone Save My Life Tonight," yada yada, all this. And I always thought the lyrics were really good. Well, I found out that it was Bernie Taupin that wrote the lyrics, and I really thought that Bernie was just a really, really, really good lyric writer. And then mid late '70s when I started getting into Rush, oh God, there's a mind blower. Neil Peart, wrote all the lyrics for Rush, and he was just absolutely just above the rest, in my opinion. In my opinion, there is no better lyric writer than Neil Peart, and so that guy is by far the number one lyric writer for me, and the biggest influence. And I really tried to just kind of not just write, "Hi, how are you? Life is good, and I am fine," or whatever, but it had to have some meaning to it. And I've always kind of really tried to get that in there, and I definitely get that from Neil. And apart from that, I would say Ronnie James Dio, in the Rainbow days and the two albums he did with Sabbath, where there was some pretty heavy duty, a little darker, but just some really good lyric writing there. So I'd have to say those three are probably my biggest ones. Do you ever have slumps, and how do you get through them? For the love of God, yes. It's like there's times when, and it's been like this over the decades, where I'll get bored with my own playing, and I'll just like, okay, I've done this. I'll say not so much anymore, especially when I'm writing, and I'm really kind of trying to just find more time to just write. Then it's really not. But I still to this day I play a lot of scales. I scale. And I absolutely hate those Facebook and YouTube commercials where they go, "You don't have to play scales to be good, just do this." Well, that's a bunch of BS. Yes, you do. Know your scales, for the love of God, and don't just do pentatonics. Pentatonics are good. There's nothing wrong with them. I still to this day use pentatonics, but for the love of God, diatonic scales are just where it's at, in my opinion. And I, when I give lessons, I push diatonic scales, and you can really hear it, and you can absolutely positively hear, once you really kind of get into them and you understand them, and then you're trying to play someone else's music there, and you're learning a solo, you go, well, I recognize that. Like uh, Randy Rhoads' solo in "Goodbye to Romance," I believe that is uh, in the key of D, and he in his solo, he's pretty much, that one part there where I'm going, this a D Aeolian scale, which is the A diatonic scale, but it was like he's playing it in the key of D, and I'm going, oh my God, you know, this is so Aeolian right here, and it's just so easy to just say, yes, that's exactly what this is, and that's exactly what this scale is out of. Or um, Alex Lifeson, if you listen to Live Stringato, that solo where he kind of hits that F and the A, and then he kind of does a little volume pedal, does those like little swell things there. Um, when he first starts that, he is right, pretty much right out of Aeolian. I'm not even gonna say pretty much. He is right out of Aeolian. And then it's like he'll kind of jump up to Phrygian, and he kind of does a few notes there, and then he kind of goes back and forth, and he goes back to, or Tom Schultz in his solo for A Man Will Never Be. When I'm working that out, I'm going, but he blew my mind because he would do a few notes. He's sitting here doing a few notes in this mode, and he jumps up and he does a few notes here. He's not kind of working his way up. He's just kind of doing a few here and a few there, and it sounds so beautiful the way he did that. And it's like I've never seen someone really take that approach where he's just playing, a few notes here and then a few notes here and then a few notes here and going back and forth, and it's just like brilliant. So, uh, but yeah. Anyways, uh, uh, a lot of when I would get in slumps, what I did a lot was I would do one of two things. Sometimes I would just set it down and just not play for a few days and that kind of stuff there, and then I would miss it, and I was like, oh, I gotta play, and I would play, and then just like have this renewed vigor about playing. Or sometimes I would just play through it. I would just keep playing and just keep playing and just play through it. I mean, there's a million things to do. I mean, there's so much guitar to play, and I still enjoy playing along with a CD or hey Alexa, play this, and then I play along with her, that kind of stuff. And I still enjoy doing that, but certainly writing will keep me very, very busy, and working with other guys and working on songs, that keeps me busy too. But for the slumps there, those are the things that I did, anyways, just to kind of help get me through it. Uh, uh, are you going to tour? I got asked this several times. Are you going to tour? Or I should tour. And, am I going to tour? Well, chances are really I'm not going to. It's not that I wouldn't want to, but you figure, I mean, I recorded an album and I released, but I don't have a record deal. I have no one behind me. It's really kind of just something I'm doing on my own, and and I've actually got a day job. I've been in the computer IT department for over 30 years, and that's kind of my career. And I hope to be retiring from that, and that kind of thing. So I'm very, very, very happily married, and have no desire to go and leave my wife Lisa to go out, and I'm not saying I wouldn't. I'm not saying I would close the door on that, because I mean, let's be honest. I mean, what guitar player doesn't want to? But the bottom line is that the reality of it is that that's probably not going to happen. So I could easily just say I'll cross that bridge, not when I come to it, but if it ever shows up. So how's that? Uh, Ty Tabor of King's X mastered your album. How did that come about? Oh, great question. Great question. Ty Tabor of King's X. I love King's X. Saw them live. Got to meet Ty. Got a story there that I won't bore you with, but it was just incredibly awesome. And I just really like Ty's playing a lot. He's one of those guys that I didn't become a King's X fan until I was probably in my 40s. I didn't really get into them, but I heard the song Prisoner, and it just changed my life. I think his solo in that song is just so good, and I just love King's X. I mean, they're a three-piece, guitar, bass, drums, Ty Tabor on guitar and vocals, Doug Pinnick on bass and most of the vocals, and then Jerry Gaskill on drums and vocals, and Ty and Jerry do a lot of background vocals, and they sing so well together, and their mixture of with Doug is just so perfect. And I mean, some people get into them and some people don't, and if you don't, okay, I get it, you don't, but they're a really good band, and Ty is probably one of my top players. He's incredibly good. So I find out that strictly just kind of uh, doing some searches for some stuff on Ty that I didn't know, and I found out that he actually has a studio in Missouri where he lives, and he does mastering at his studio, Alien Beans Studio. There's a plug for you, Ty. Alien Beans Studio, and if you go there, you see that he does mastering, and then I find out that he did some mastering, and he mastered some of my favorite King's X albums, and you know. What is mastering? For those who don't know what mastering, I mean, it's some final EQs. It's running it through some softwares that kind of do some enhancements and kind of a de-esser. So if you're singing and you hear there's a big heavy, it kind of takes that out. Some final EQs, and but really it's making an album sound like an album and not just some little Panasonic record and then you hear it. I mean, it's like and being able to hear my songs before and after, I know the difference that he did and what he did, and he did an absolutely great job. Thank you 1,000 times, Ty. I have been in contact with him about the second one. King's X is on tour right now. They just released an album, so it'll be a little while, but that's okay because I'm going to be a little while. So, but I really want Ty to master the second one as well. Anyways, how did I get Ty to do that? Really simple. I just asked him. I asked him, and if you're a musician, you're writing your own stuff, you got a band, you want to get some stuff, mastered. Check out Ty because his prices are really good, really good. So it's not going to break you. So, that's how I got Ty Tabor of King's X to do that. Will you make another album? If so, how will it be much of the same as the first or different? So as I've said, yes, I'm recording the new one now. I'm recording the Return of the Traceman, and we have been we've got some initial tracking done on I think 6. So right at the end of the first album, Ron and I were kind of talking, and Ron dropped a name of a guy he knew, and of that being Mitch Wells, who owned a studio in Lansing here. That was just an amazing studio. I knew Mitch back in the early studio days, and when he was just starting, and then we were just starting ours, we used to get together sometimes and talk studio and talk stuff there. And very cool guy, very knowledgeable. And his studio was pretty much running around the clock, 24 hours around the clock. He had like 4 engineers working for him, and they were going 24/7 around the clock, just kicking it out. And really great, great quality. And this guy has just forgotten more than most guys know when it comes to that kind of thing. So I knew Mitch, Ron knew Mitch, but we didn't know that the other knew Mitch. So when he dropped his name, I'm like, I know Mitch. So we kind of brought Mitch in, and Mitch really helped out with a lot of the post production stuff, and kind of getting it up onto Bandcamp. So little plug there. Anybody interested in my album, go to bandcamp.com and just put my name in, and it'll come up there. You can buy it there, and please feel free to. And he got my YouTube channel up and going and just really helped out there. So, but we kind of got him in on the ground floor right now on the new one. So we're kind of working on that now, and we've got the drums and bass down to some. So, and I'll be doing guitar track, which I'm kind of doing now, and we'll be throwing myself into full force here in the very near future. So. So yes, another one is coming soon. We're making it right now. Will it be much different? Well, yes, I think it is, but I'm saying that in a good way. So if you like the first album, I'm really thinking you're going to like the second album because, you know, I was talking with Bill Killy, who, again, longest friend of mine. We're like brothers. And he said that, he said, I think the first album, your album was a good representation of you. He goes, I could listen to your album and say, yeah, that was Tracy's. And that made me feel good. Not just because it was a musician who I respect, but that he was able to say, yeah, I can hear this and I can know that's you. And I think that's a good, fair representation of you. But I do think that the second one, I mean, again, I wrote those songs in the first one a long time ago, and man, I was sure thinking that there's going to be some growth between that time and now, you know, and some more maturity. I mean, I play a lot. I want to get better. There's this desire to always get better. And so, you know, I was sure think that it's, hopefully that it's going to be better anyway. So, I like the songs better, much better. There's going to be, you know, just wait and see. Just wait and see. I'll be keeping you guys posted there. But I'm looking forward to it. I was playing some tracks for my wife Lisa, and for just the little that we have, which is pretty much drums, bass, and a dummy track. And she goes, "Oh, this is different," and she liked it. So she's a really good when it comes to music. I know it sounds like I'm being biased, but she's just one of those people who can just really listen to music and just get it, to just explain it to me and say, "Here's how it breaks down." So her opinion means a lot, and so we'll see. I'll keep you guys posted. Do you have any videos? No, but we're going to be making a video. Hopefully more than one. But you know, again, Mitch had a great studio for a long time there, and while he doesn't have the studio anymore, he still got the gear and he still got the know-how. So we've talked about doing a video. I've kind of talked to some guys about you know, doing it with me. So yes, video, maybe plural, maybe coming. So again, I'll keep you posted on that, and I'm really looking forward to that. And the last one here is just what's next for the Traceman. Well, I told you that you know, it's like there's just so much going on right now as far as like trying to get the new album going, and it's I can't begin to tell you how much work it is. It's man, it's I would say it's harder than swinging a hammer, you know, for 8 hours. You know, but worth it. So you know, new album coming up, video coming up. Apart from that, you know, for those that don't know, I'm a published author. I have a book that I wrote called Pinocchio Symptoms, which is for sale on iBooks. And if you like sci-fi, kind of slightly futuristic kind of sci-fi kind of stuff there, I've gotten good reviews on it, so I'm pretty happy with that. But I've got that one out there. I'm writing another one. Matter of fact, it's a sequel to the first one. And I wasn't planning on writing a sequel, but I had people ask, "Oh, when's the next one coming out?" You know, so you know, but I've got several manuscripts I've started that just so I can have enough till I can know, okay, now when I take off on this, I can really take off. So more books coming, more albums coming, video coming. I'll keep you guys posted here. And again, I want to kind of do some fun guitar stuff here. I want to do some lessons. You know, I've talked about you know, different scales and that kind of stuff, and you know, that's something that I would like to kind of get on here as well. So more to come. Thanks so much for your interest. Thank you so much for the questions. Keep them coming. For the people that have thrown questions at me, oh my God, keep them coming, because I'm more than happy to answer. If you want to leave a comment, please feel free, and I do my best to answer every comment. And again, hit subscribe, hit that subscribe button, and I'll keep you posted on things. All right, everybody, take care. Talk to you soon. Take care.